Hello guys, welcome to the second video of the series VC Sharp Programming using VS.NET 2010. In this video we are going to discuss the topic of data types and variables. So let's first discuss about variables. A variable is a quantity that can vary or change. It is used to store data. In programming, it is used to represent as a container for unknown data. Since we actually deal with lots and lots of unknown quantities in real life and programming, we often get to use variables to store or represent the unknown values. It is similar to the variable in mathematics, but with one great difference. In mathematics, a variable may represent any kind of value. That is, it may have a fractional value or floating point value, an integer value, or any other kind of value that we may or may not understand, that is abstract in nature. But in programming, it is well defined. That is, it has to be, it has to be defined to the computer what kind of data it needs to store along with a unique name. So variables act as containers for unknown quantities, and therefore you always need to tell the computer what you are going to use or what kind of data you want to store in a variable, providing the name and the type the variable is supposed to store. When I say type, what is this type in fact? Type refers to the kind of data. And that brings me to the next topic, that is data types. In programming, data is categorized into different types of data, generally termed as data types. You might find this term in most of the programming languages, not only C#, but in almost any programming language you come across. Visual C# supports a lot of data types. You may check the list on the internet or in your prescribed books for VC#, and optionally you may choose to view the table I'm providing in this video. So let's go to the table now. So there are 4 columns. The first column tells you about the different kinds of data types available with C#. The second column refers to the CLR type structure of the data type supported with the C#. I hope you know what CLR is, or Common Language Runtime is. It's more of a .NET framework concept. The third column tells you about the memory which is being taken by each type of data, or a variable when assigned or declared with a data type. The fourth column tells you about the range a variable of a certain data type which is listed in the first column can have. So there are 3 slides in all. This is the first slide for the table. This is the second one, and this is the third. Feel free to copy this table into your notes if you don't have references, or if you have references on the internet. If you feel like watching them over internet, that is better. I would recommend that. Okay, now the question is, why the hell will I use data types? Because in real life, we don't actually consider data types as a part of calculation. Rather, it is intuitive to have a variable which can store any kind of data, but it has its own advantages in dividing or segregating the types of data. So let's go to the next slide to know about it. In fact, the data types help us break any complex data into simple BC-sharp supported simple types or built-in types. So this actually makes our life easier because it helps us turn real-life data into computable or computer understandable blocks. It also gives you or lets you explore a real-life data which is complex in nature, analyze it, and break it into smaller, simple types in which it can be expressed. So there's a last concept we need to cover before we go and program. That is variable naming rules and conventions, of course. There are basically two types of, or so two rules, which when violated actually violate the process. So they never violate these rules. The first rule says that the first character of a variable name must either be a letter, or it should start with an underscore, or it should start with the at symbol, or is also commonly known as at the rate of, which you generally use in your email uh, addresses. The second rule says subsequent characters may be letters, underscores, characters, or numbers. And mind one thing that I have not included spaces. That means you can't use spaces, or also I not use special characters in the second rule. So you cannot include special characters like operations like plus, minus, division, and such kind of things in between the name of a variable. So use Hungarian notation as a convention for naming variables, because internationally most Shell programmers use this kind of notation because it allows you to directly understand what kind of data a particular variable belongs to, and the name of the data, or sorry, the name of the variable, I mean what it stores. So let's see, this system involves us placing a lowercase prefix on all variable names that identify the type. For example, if a variable were of type int is basically short form of integer, then you might place an I or n in front of it. I refers to integers and n refers to number or numeric. For example, I age, here I is integer, age is the variable. You will also see that though the variable name has started with I, it is not named with capital I. It has started with a small I, which means it is an integer. The actual variable name starts from A. And if you have a collection of words which you use to name a variable, always try to capitalize each word, combine them together without any kind of spaces. Using this system, it is easy to see a variable as type at a glance. Okay, let's not waste any more time. Now let's begin writing a program using data types and variables. But since it's already time, I will only show you three types of data types in this program, which I'm going to build, and a few functions also, which will use as needed, and I'll give adequate explanation for those functions. So let's start off programming. Okay, so let's start by making a new project. select console project and name it DataTypes. I name the DataTypes because I liked it. You can name it any way you want. Select the directory and say OK. Okay, we have already some code support from the visualstudio.net, but we are not going to use some of the namespaces provided here, so let's get rid of them. Namespaces are a different concept. We shall cover them later, so don't worry much about them if you don't understand. Just be sure that you type the code exactly I do. So let this namespace exist. This is our namespace. This is the predefined namespace, and this is the class. This is the class inside the namespace. And in the main main method or function, start writing int space a comma b comma c, or you may optionally write this way also. Int space a semicolon, int space b semicolon, and int space c semicolon. But I would recommend this approach because it is better, because it saves space. So I'm going to delete these both. Okay, next let us, and this statement is known as declaration statement. Here you declare that you're going to use ABC variables which are declared as integers, and in the next line we shall initialize the variables, say a equal to 10, b equal to 20, and c equals a plus b. Quite a mathematical operation and intuitive to understand. I think I don't need to explain that. The only thing is you're going to use operators such as plus and equal to, and I don't ever wonder how the C# understands these things. We'll cover them in later videos. Okay, next let us write console.writeLine, our good old friend, which will put a message on the screen, output screen. And here we'll do something typical to produce the results or print the results which are present in variables instead of giving a message. So I include 3 strings and give 3 variables a, b, c. Okay, let me explain this writeLine method. What you have essentially done is you have included 3 placeholders which shall be replaced by the corresponding variables. So 0 shall be replaced by a, in fact the value of a. 1 shall be replaced by the value of b. 2 shall be replaced by the value of c. So before we run this program, let me introduce a new method which will try to get or read a key from a keyboard. This is a good old technique which all programmers use to make the program halt at the output screen so that we can see the output. That's what I'm basically doing. And let's just run this program and see the output. So this is the output 10, 20, 30, exactly as you have written in the program. Just let's close this thing. Yeah, this program is waiting for the read key, or the read key method is actually working right now. So we give a key, say any key you feel like. I have given G. So once you give the key, it comes back to the program or IDE. So here's what you have done in this place: the complete string, not just in place of 0, but this complete string will be replaced by 10, this, I'm so sorry, this by 20, and this by 30, and these commas are going to be printed as you have seen in the output. Let's try the same with some float variables or fractional values. So I'm going to declare float, so p comma q comma r, give some value. P is equal to 5.5, q is equal to 4.5, and let's add up r is equal to p plus q. Add another control, the right line statement. Okay. You do the same thing essentially as you have done in the previous console.writeLine line statement. Give the same placeholders if there are 3 variables. Okay, there's an error. Let's see what it is. What is it? Literal type of double cannot be implicitly converted to float. Use an F suffix to create a literal. Let's type, and let us create this F. It says that you have to give an F when you want this value to be treated as float, because there is a confusion going float and double. They're both same. Double is a bigger amount, it has a big range. Float has a smaller range, and that we'll explore in the upcoming videos. So right now I simply just give p comma q comma r, and let's see whether it works out. Yeah, I got my output. It has worked out, and 5 plus 5, 5.5 plus 4.5 is 10. So let's try some characters. That's the last data type I promised I'll teach. Okay, a equals. So we'll just declare it this way. Okay, a already exists, so there's a letter. That's an error. So let's make it some. So k. Now always remember that when you assign a character variable, you must always use a single quotes. I'll give a character to this variable, say G. And now let's try to print this G using console.writeLine statement. Okay. Now let us run this program and see the output. Yeah, you got your output. So that concludes our video, and we'll talk about more and more data types in the upcoming videos. But for now, I hope I have given enough info for you to start off programming a few programs. So let me give those programs to you. I'm just stopping this. I'm writing it in the IDE itself, so take these questions and try to solve them using the techniques I have taught you. So write a program to add, subtract, multiply, and divide two numbers. Okay, for this question you might use plus for addition, minus for subtraction, asterisk for multiplication, and a forward slash for division. So that's it, guys. And if you like my videos, please do subscribe to my channel, because that would encourage me to make more and more videos. And also please post your comments. Thank you.